Good evening, everyone. Today is Monday, January 26, 2026, and the time now is 6 p.m., and I will call to order this regular meeting of the Town of Mead Board of Trustees. In accordance with the town's remote participation and remote meeting policy adopted by the Board of Trustees on March 13th, 2023, by Resolution Number 21-R-2023, remote participation will be allowed. The meeting link has been provided on the town's website and designated posting place 24 hours prior to this meeting. I'd like to remind everyone present, both in person and virtually, of the town's general guidelines for public comment at open meetings and public hearings. The guidelines are available online and on the entry table. There are two public comment opportunities on the agenda for persons in attendance at Town Hall to address the board. The first is limited to items on the agenda, and the second public comment opportunity allows any subject, whether it is on the agenda or not, to be addressed. Mary, roll call, please.
Mayor Whitlow.
Here.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Here.
Trustee Adams. Trustee Cartwright.
Here.
Trustee Crane.
Here.
Trustee Hagan.
Here.
Trustee Schranz. Mayor Whitlow, today is Monday, January 26, 2026, and you do have a quorum.
Thank you very much, Mary. Please join me in a moment of silence in recognition of impact that our crossing guards have on our school children. With the weather changing, let's remember to stay alert on the road. Thank you very much for your time. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. We'll move on to review and approve agenda. Staff has indicated that item 9K regarding High Plains Boulevard is not quite ready. So we'll remove that item from tonight's agenda. And are there any other changes to the agenda tonight? Okay, may I have a motion to approve the agenda as amended?
I'd like to change the agenda.
Excuse me?
I'd like to make a change to the agenda.
Okay.
I'd like to remove resolution number 07R 2026 for general discussion. And then I'd make a motion to approve the agenda with that removed from the consent and move to general discussion.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you very much. Roll call, please, Mary.
Trustee Hagan.
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright.
Yes.
Trustee Crane.
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. We have an agenda for this evening. Next is our staff report by our town manager. Ma'am, you have the floor.
Thank you, Mayor. Trustees. You have my report. I don't have too much else to report tonight other than we did receive word that the I-25 ramp closure isn't going to happen till this weekend with the turnover. Apparently the traffic has kept them from being able to, the weather slowed that down. So that's delayed until the 31st. And then the other thing I just wanted to let everybody know that we have, effective today, we promoted Alex Ailey as a planner too. So we're excited to see that. And he can help Todd in the interviews for replacing Colin's position. So that's pretty exciting. But other than that, I have nothing else to add to my report.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments for Helen? Trustee Cartwright, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't.
Okay, thank you very much, Helen. We'll move on to our informational items tonight. The first one is our community report for 2025-2026. And I'll invite our communications director, Laura Nelson, to address this.
Thank you. Marisol is going to share the PDF online as I walk you guys through it. So inside on our first page, you'll see the letter to the community. This is just an overview of accomplishments in 2025 and what we have to look forward to in 2026. At the bottom, it lists all of the Board of Trustees and our meeting dates. The next page is our 2025 snapshot with a variety of photos from different events throughout this year and also including our core priorities, responsible growth, reliable infrastructure, public safety, fiscal stability, and a connected community. Starting on page 3, you'll see our 2025 project highlights. We went a little bit more in depth this year because we had several large-scale projects. Post our Parks, Open Space, and Trails Master Plan was significant in 2025, as well as the Mead Community Center, initiating the police facility design, the groundbreaking and the opening of the Gold Star Families Memorial Monument, and then the High Plains Boulevard groundbreaking. On page 5, you will see we also included the expansion of Main Street, several businesses open. It's really starting to boom down there. We're seeing a lot more foot traffic and people coming onto Main Street and the community center because it's kind of the hub of downtown Mead. Additionally, you'll see other highlights that we did throughout 2025. On page 6, we have our 2026 goals, and these are outlined. And how this works is all of the directors and town manager and what your input from previous retreats, we outline goals for our 2026. Everybody gets input, and then we finalize them and add those into what we hope to complete in 2026. On page 7, you'll see our demographics. And then starting on page 8, we do our budget overview. We break this down into 2026 revenue and expenditures. At the bottom, you'll see restricted funds. Our transportation projects, the street improvement fund is down there. Our sewer fund, parks and open space, municipal facilities, and the police impact fund. On our next page, we have our street improvement fund. We call this out every year since 2022. It highlights the amount of expenditures and revenues for street improvement fund only. And what we've done in the last few years is also showing the expenditures over the time. So you can see in 2022 where we had just started collecting that tax, it was very low, and then it jumped up significantly throughout the years. The following page is our awards and grants. These are grants that were awarded in 2025. So whether whether the project takes several years to complete, we only count it once and we count it in the year that we received it. At the bottom of that is our property tax and mill rates. You'll notice there is a little graph with houses. It is broken down into the mills, but then the graph notates the percentage. So you can see the percentage of our taxes collected is 53% is for the school district, whereas let's see, Town of Mead only collects 10.77%. So I wanted to call out that differentiation of mills versus percentage. And that's what I have for you. These will be mailed to all of our properties, business and residents tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Questions or comments for Lorelei tonight? Trustee Cartwright, do you have any questions or comments?
No, I don't. Looks very good.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, thanks, Lorelei. All right, we'll move on to the 2026 pavement maintenance projects for informational item tonight. This will be introduced by our pavement management program manager, Manny Windhorst. Sir, you have the podium.
We have a slideshow up here for you. This is just kind of a brief overview of what's going to happen this year. To know where we're going, we kind of look back and see where we've come from. This is the report we had last year, the 2017 to 2025 recent work. When you look at this map and all the colors, we've done a lot. There's a lot of activity. More stuff has happened since 2022, as Lorelei mentioned. We have more money through that 1% tax, so more of the complicated projects can happen. Before that, we just use inexpensive surface treatments. We still utilize those for streets that are appropriate, so we still do that. But since we voted that 1% dedicated sales tax, a lot more can happen. This provides the necessary funds to tackle the more expensive roadways, full depth reconstructions, things like that. Next slide, please. This is still our proposed 5-year work plan. It has not been updated yet. We are going through the GIS module to try to update that, but I'll show you that at the very end. The things we have when we consider the considerations we have when we're planning, same as always, the development projects that are coming up, the CDOT project, which has been very challenging this year. We've had a lot of things happen. Town capital projects, Fair and Wilker, for an example. What our priorities are, how we can equally distribute those improvements throughout the town, coordinating with the developers, CDOT, CIP projects, what things we need to make safer, and how much money we have. And those are how I go about planning all this stuff. Next slide, please. So this year, I'll kind of go through what we have planned this year. Our Slurry Seal project, we usually do one neighborhood a year, which we're doing Coyote Run. That costs about $200,000. It's a big neighborhood. Our larger asphalt reconstruction projects, Grandview Drive out in the east, that will get taken care of. That's about, I think I switched those. Yeah, so that's about 600,000. I switched those numbers. Sorry about that. And then we're also doing a portion of the Mulligan Lake Estates for about 900,000. Those two projects will total $1.5 million. Our crack seal project this year is Coyote Run and Sorrento Estates. That's about 25,000. Sorrento is very new, but it is kind of aging to the point of where crack seal will benefit that. So that's why we kind of use that to keep the water out of that subgrade. Concrete repairs this year will happen in the Old Town east and west side of 3rd Street. Patching is kind of a miscellaneous. It kind of touches on the slurry projects, some of the major right-of-ways, and our concrete repair area. So that kind of happens everywhere. And then our striping project, we just kind of look at all the striping that's in dire needs and we update that and restripe it. So the total improvements this year will be about 2.6 million. Next slide, please. So this is an overview of that Mulligan Lake Estates. This will be a full depth reconstruction. That's about $900,000. We didn't want to do the entire thing at one time because it just used up the entire budget on one neighborhood. In 2025, we did the entrance street because it was so bad. We decided to pave that. We didn't want to waste any money on it, slurrying it. Next slide, please. Grandview out in the east, these streets are in dire need also. These will be full depth reconstructions, which will be new pavement and stabilizing the grade. Next slide, please. And Coyote Run, that will get patching, crack seal, and slurry sealed all in 1 year. To the cost of about $225,000. Next slide. The miscellaneous patching, last year we did County Road 7 from Liberty Ranch down to 28. And then this year we're going to do County Road 28. Those streets are going to be repaved in the future with a mill and overlay. So we're just doing some preliminary patching. So it's kind of a long process, but once that waterfront comes in there and repaves it, it'll be like brand new streets for us. That's approximately 200,000 on that one street. Next slide, please. So we will be doing some reconstruction in Old Town next year. So we will go through there and fix any concrete that needs replaced, and we'll be slurry seal on the east side. So that will happen this year down there. Next slide. So this is something Jill with Envision GIS has been working on with me. So we're making a layer that can be accessed. Instead of me making these maps that say what we've done and what we're going to do, we're going to have a database that has all that information in there. So we can isolate it by year, treatment, and it's also going to have what's upcoming. So all of this stuff is going to be digitized. So instead of digging through the files to find out what has happened or having me make these maps, now we can just go in there and turn on and off layers for what has been done and when it was done or what will be upcoming. And we will get that updated up to a 10-year plan. So that's something that we're working on right now. It's not ready to go live because it's just kind of in its preliminary stages, but this is what we will be we should have ready this year. So that's kind of exciting. It kind of brings us into the modern age. And with that, next slide. Any questions that anybody has about what's upcoming or what's happened?
Thanks, Manny. Questions, comments?
How's pricing on asphalt been? Is it, do you get new bids every year?
No. So when I first got here, they wanted me to, it was advantageous for us to do a renewable contract. So we don't have to go out to bid every year. So in 2023, we put everything out to bid, made them renewable. And so they are allowed to give us increases every year. So we just renew the contracts every year with just modest increases. All they can do is pass on any increases through materials. And we haven't had more than a 3% increase in our costs of all of our contracts.
So even if asphalt prices are way down, we don't get the benefit of that?
I don't think they've gone down, but that'll be part of the negotiation. So we'll give them all of our pricing, all of our quantities, all of our stuff, and then they will come back with their increase or not an increase. The last couple of years, the increase have been very small.
Okay.
Thank you, Chris. Trustee Cartwright, do you have any questions or comments for Manny tonight? I didn't hear anything from him. Thank you, Manny.
Thanks.
Okay. Trustee Cartwright, do you have any questions or comments for Manny tonight? Okay. All right.
Thanks.
Again, thank you. Okay, we'll move on to our proclamations. Crossing Guard Appreciation Day, February 6, 2026, and I've asked Trustee Crane to read the proclamation.
All right. Proclamation, School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day. Whereas the town of Mead is home to hundreds of school-aged children whose safety and well-being is fundamental, and whereas school crossing guards play a vital role in ensuring the safety and well-being of our children as they travel to and from school each day, and whereas these dedicated individuals serve as the first line of defense in protecting students from traffic-related dangers, fostering a safe and secure environment for pedestrians near our schools, and whereas the unwavering commitment of school crossing guards deserves recognition and gratitude for their daily contributions to the safety and education of our children, and whereas their work often goes beyond the call of duty, with many school crossing guards braving harsh weather conditions and navigating challenging traffic scenarios to ensure that our children and families can cross streets safely. Now, therefore, Colleen Whitlow, Mayor of the town of Mead, does hereby proclaim February 6, 2026 as School Crossing Guard Appreciation Day in the town of Mead.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion to approve the signing of this proclamation?
I will move to sign the proclamation.
I second.
Thank you. Mary, roll call, please.
Trustee Hagan,
Yes.
Trustee Crane,
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright, Trustee Cartwright, do you approve the signing of the proclamation? He's raising his hand. Let's see if I can. Can you?
Yes, can you hear me now?
There you go. Thank you. Mayor Pro Tem Harris,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes, thank you very much. Okay, we'll move on to public comment. The board welcomes public comment at this time for any item on the agenda. We will also take comments on the items not on the agenda during the second public comment. Item number 10. Please remember that public comment is not intended to be a question and answer session, and the board will listen to your comments and take them into consideration. All comments should be directed to the Board of Trustees, not to specific individuals. Ms. Rutt, do we have anyone that's signed in for public comment tonight?
No.
Thank you very much. We'll move on to our consent agenda. With the exception of resolution number 7R 2026 and what's the other one? 10R. Thank you very much. Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Trustee Harris or Mayor Pro Tem Harris.
Yes.
Trustee Crane,
Yes.
Trustee Hagan,
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. And thank you to staff for putting the consent agenda together for us and on all the work you've done. And thank you very much for the Board of Trustees for taking the time to do their due diligence before we get to our meeting tonight. We'll move on to resolution number 7-R-2026. It's a resolution for the town of Mead approving the First Amendment to the Agreement of Professional Services by and between the town of Mead and Drewberry Engineers Incorporated for project and construction management services for state and federal funded projects. Trustee Hagan pulled this item off a consent agenda, and I will turn the microphone over to him for questions or comments.
This question is probably for Erica or Helen, I guess. What's the scope of work that this cumulative $800,000 has, and how much of that is paid for by grant, and how much of it is paid for by town funds?
Good evening. This contract is strictly for construction management of the Third and Welker project. So that,
800,000
yep,
for construction management.
yep.
That's ridiculous.
What's on your agenda today is an extension of that. It was originally 556,000, where, as you know, the project has been delayed beyond its original completion date of September 30. So what's being asked for tonight is an extension of 249,000.
So is that a full-time person sitting out in the truck even when the people aren't here? Or what's included in the 800 cumulative $1,000?
Yeah, so it's construction. So it's construction inspection. So if there's daily inspections going on, it's preparing the pay estimates, it's reviewing the quantities, it's negotiating the change orders. There were times when there were two people here. There's times when there's only one person here, depending on the work activity that's occurring at that time. And our construction manager, you see his truck out there all the time, but he doesn't work exclusively on this project. He happens to be here and works on his computer here, but he's not billing 12 hours a day to the job. He's only billing hours he's actually working on this job.
And how long has the construction project been going?
It started last January. January
year.
through September.
So that's about,
It's 9 months. Was the original contract time.
so say 12 months. Okay. So I'm just thinking it's $60,000 a month is what I'm trying to break it down to, and how many FTEs that is. It's just seems like it's a really big number for an intersection construction oversight. And is that all town money?
It is.
Trustee Hagan, there is a scope and a schedule for this in the packet that kind of lays out the dollar amounts all the way through. So if you wanted to take a look at that.
I
Okay.
reviewed it.
Okay. I just wanted to let the
I just
public know
wanted to make
too.
sure I understood that this
Okay.
is for construction observation. It's not even at risk observation, meaning they don't take any liability. They're not managers. They're strictly observing, and they don't do the actual testing. That's why we have CTL Thompson actually being that does the testing and the materials testing,
Right.
that type of work. So that's not even the total of it. It's just a lot of money for that service.
Thanks for your comments and questions. Anything else from trustee? Okay, trustee Cartwright, do you have any questions or comments for this resolution?
No, I do not.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Erica. All right, do we have a motion for resolution number 7-R-2026?
I'm involved in the middle of this project. I will move to approve resolution 7-R-2026, a resolution of the town of Mead, Colorado, approving a First Amendment to the agreement for professional services by and between the town of Mead and Dewberry Engineers, Inc. for project and construction management services for state and federally funded projects.
There's a second?
Second.
Thank you.
I second. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mary, roll call, please.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris,
Yes.
trustee Cartwright,
Yes.
trustee Hagan,
No.
trustee Crane,
No.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. Thank you very much. The resolution number 7-R-2026 passes. All right, we'll move on to public comment. We have no further general business, so this brings us to our second regular public comment period, which be for any items, whether it's on the agenda or not, excuse me. We'll follow the same guidelines previously stated. Is there anyone here that would like to speak to the Board of Trustees? All right, thank you very much. We'll move on to our legislative update, and I'll turn the microphone over to our town attorney. Marcus, you have it.
Great. Thank you, Mayor Whitlow. Trustees, good evening. Couple of bills that have been introduced that I'd like to bring to your attention this evening. The first one I mentioned at the last meeting. It's what's being referred to as the Home Act. This has been assigned House Bill 26-1001, housing developments on qualifying properties. This would allow nonprofits, school districts, colleges, housing authorities, and regional transit authorities to sidestep local planning process to build housing on land that is less than 5 acres in size. The second bill is House Bill 26-1065, transit and housing investment zones. This would create a new tax credit for affordable housing built within 1.5 miles of transit hubs, and allows local governments to use tax increment financing to fund transit and transportation projects within these zones. House Bill 26-1066 has been introduced. That's tax exemptions for low-income rental development. This would expand the tax credit that is currently given to nonprofit developers of affordable owner-occupied housing to allow them to receive a similar tax credit for putting up affordable rental housing. One bill that we're going to want to keep our eye on or be on the lookout for has not been introduced yet, but there is a proposal for a bill that would allow a single-family homeowner to split their lot into 2 separate parcels and put an ADU on the other lot and then sell that to a different owner. So it'd be a for sale owner-occupied ADU structure. As I mentioned, that bill has not yet been introduced. Let me see. This is interesting. This is CML initiated legislation, House Bill 26-1036, the local taxes on vacant residential property. This would authorize a county or municipality, after approval by voters in an election, to impose an excise or property tax or both on vacant residential properties. The local government determines what is defined as a vacant residential property. Senate Bill 26024. This is another preemption bill. It has to do with state and local unmanned aircraft regulation. It would limit the ability of cities and towns to manage the impacts of drone use in their communities by declaring drone regulation as a matter of statewide concern and preempting local authority. And then just added this one because this is interesting. Senate Bill 26030 is expanding the use of funds that are collected with the Keep Colorado Wild Pass Act. I'm sure you're all familiar with the fee that you automatically pay when you go to register a vehicle unless you waive out of it Those funds are set aside and earmarked for support of state parks. This bill would establish an access cash fund for the purpose of supporting local governments and efforts to improve roads and other infrastructure that provide access to state parks and state wildlife areas from within a local government's boundary. So, for example, probably the closest state park that you're all is the St. Vrain State Park. So this would allow Longmont or Firestone or other local jurisdictions to have access to that cash fund to help make roadway improvements that might improve access to those state parks. And then finally, just wanted to mention on another part of the legislative update is that if you all remember that we're currently involved with litigation with Shell, and we are in the process of proposing some legislation with the help of the lobbyists at CML. This will be a bill that will be carried by the new member of the House of Representatives from this district, Representative Slaw, but it would make some changes to that rather old section of Part 7 of the disconnection statute. This is something that would not be retroactive. It would not impact the current disconnection that's underway in the town of Mead, but it would prevent this type of statute from being utilized in the future. So that is in process. I'd like to thank the mayor who did a really nice job of making sure that this was brought to the attention of some of the CML staff. And as I mentioned, we're currently engaged with Representative Slaw, and that will ultimately go to the Office of Legislative Drafting, and we would hope that that would be introduced at some point this session. So we'll definitely keep you updated on that one as well as it progresses. Happy to stand for any questions.
Questions, comments for Marcus? Trustee Cartwright, do you have any questions or comments for Marcus tonight?
I do not. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you, Marcus, again. All right, we'll move on to elected official reports. Any of the town trustees would like to bring anything up tonight? Trustee Cartwright, do you have anything?
A cold.
A cold, I'm
No.
sorry. I feel better. Thank you for joining us tonight. We appreciate your time.
Thank
All right,
you.
I don't have anything. I just want to say thank you to staff for putting tonight's consent agenda together again. We've got a lot of projects in the mix, and we need to move forward for 2026 to get some of this work done, especially the intersection and some other of these projects that we've been working on for many years. So I just want to say thank you very much for everybody's help and their advocacy for it. So, and do we have a motion to adjourn?
I will move to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Trustee Hagan,
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Harris,
Yes.
Trustee Crane,
Yes.
Trustee Cartwright,
Yes.
Mayor Whitlow.
Yes. The January 26, 2026 regular meeting of the Board of Trustees is now adjourned at 6:33. Thank you very much. Please drive home safely and keep warm.
Okay.